less of a tornado threat as we go through the evening. Would you agree?
I would agree, yeah. So typically when these storms descend from the Cumberland Plateau, which they still haven't quite yet, we'll see these transition into more of a linear threat. And that's actually happening up in the southeastern Kentucky area, just coming out of McCreary County. So if we could head back over to Max 2 for me, I want to show you this. This line heading into northern Scott County. Now, it's not severe or anything, but it is going to cause possibly some damaging winds. And as we look over towards, let's see, up into Harlan, you can see that that's becoming more linear too. So I don't want to, bore you guys with too much science, but this is really starting to turn into what we call a bookend, right? Because it looks like a book sat on itself. And so that is a classic sign of this becoming, instead of these storms that can produce tornadoes, storms that can produce flooding and straight line winds. So still under that severe thunderstorm warning. Just got a note about potential flash flooding threats up along the Tennessee-Kentucky line, Harlan, Middlesboro included. Path Fork 821, Kaywood 833. I'm so grateful for the first responders up here in southeastern Kentucky, and even just the workers. I heard from Sue, who was at the Corbin Walmart earlier, and she said, hey, Ben, everybody was safely taken inside the Walmart of Corbin and protected. So that's great news as the alarms or the sirens were going off. Let me take it back to the wide view. If you're saying, what is WVLT on for? It's quiet. It's Madisonville, Maryville, Morristown. Well, we do have that active tornado threat. So let's get you right to that. If you're just joining us for another 11 minutes and change, we have this storm with a history of producing damage. It's now in Morgan County. And while the storm itself is in southern Scott County, the tornado threat is not really for that part of Scott County. So let's put a track on the most damaging or the most potentially damaging part of the storm, and that now includes Wartburg. So Wartburg, you got plenty of time. It's not an immediate threat. Okay, so I'm just hearing from our partners at the Weather Service that we're about to get a new tornado warning downstream. So that will include Wartburg any second now. Let's look at the storm. Still that broad rotation, west side of Wartburg. Ben, can we come back real fast here to me? I want to talk to folks in Wartburg and Adkins Mill and the Catoosa Game Plan. You're about to get a new tornado warning for the Wartburg area. I want you to get that plan ready to go as you're still about 10 to 15 minutes in Wartburg and along Oak Ridge Highway heading into the Wild Ovet near Lansing. I want you to get your shoes ready to go. I want you to get the remote ready to go so you can turn the TV up loud or your iPad or phone. We're streaming live. And then you can get to your safe place. What does a safe place look like? There is that new tornado warning. Let's put a brand new track on that before we take a dive into what a safe place looks like. Wartburg, 828, a little bit faster. So in the next couple minutes, you need to be in your safe place. Frozen Head State Park, 840. Oliver Springs, 853. Oak Ridge, 901 for this tornadic storm with the history of producing damage in places like Overton and Putnam County, to the Pickett County area as well. Frozen Head State Park, you're on the fringe of that. And then Oak Ridge, you're in the tornado warning now. Perhaps you just got the alert on your phone. I got it right here on my phone. Tornado warning, Anderson County, till 8:45. Now, what does a safe place look like? Because this isn't maybe something that we think about every day, certainly not into what was a beautiful February day up until this point. The tornado safety, here it is. Know where to go before a warning. In this case, we do have the warning, but we're giving you as much time as possible. Interior-most portions of your house. Bedrooms, there may be an option there, but that's typically not the best place to go. Interior hallways, under staircases, especially away from glass, a bathroom, and then the best place, if you have it, is an interior basement. If you're like me, the only access to your basement is exterior. I want you to stay inside the house as long as possible. Here's the wide view again. We'll update you on that brand new issued tornado warning, which goes for our friends in especially Morgan County until 8:45. This covers a sliver of Roane County. Just heard from our friend Scott. He said, hey, it's all quiet here in Rockwood, but that may change. Let's see what we got here on the southern fringe of that. Do you guys know what that is yet? Let's see. Instability quickly diminishing for Fentress County. That's great news. So the tornado threat is over. Let me put the track on this inside the storm. Wartburg, you have a couple of minutes, especially on the north side and near Lansing, to get to your safe place as quickly as possible. I'm going to send it back over to Spencer Denton. I'm going to look at the power outage map, and then we're going to get a look at some of the very small communities in a second here on the north side of Wartburg. Spencer?
Yeah, Ben, the lightning certainly is an issue with this, causing power outages in some areas, but also the wind, and then also the fact that, and if we can switch back over to Max 1 at some point, I want to show you, yeah, here we go. This is, I just wanted to give the folks here in Knox County a heads up. This is the cell that has the tornado warning on it. So here's Wartburg. Here's that sliver of Anderson County that's under the tornado warning right now. This cell is heading southeast. So if it holds together, we could see either a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning here in Knox County very shortly. Again, this is moving to the southeast. This is going to clip the northern part of Knox County. This is a radar indicated tornado. We are not, so far, we have not heard of any signs of a touchdown at this point, at least in this immediate area. However, a ton of lightning with this. You can see kind of the little, even on reflectivity, you can see a little bit of a hook. So if this portion of that cell continues down, this is going to move just to the north of Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge, you're right on that tornado warning box there. Clinton, you're just outside of it, but they could extend this as well. There is the rotation. So it's kind of going like this right here. So the green is going toward the radar. And again, we're looking at this cell from the is this the yeah, this is the Morristown radar site right now. So yeah, Jacob?
They are saying that there certainly looks like a debris signature just west of 27. I'm going to pop that up here.
Yeah, let's pop up the debris. So this is the area right here. This is when you see these yellows, and especially when this turns blue, and I'm just going to speak very plainly about this, but the science behind it is we start to see debris in the air. The radar beam can actually pick up the debris, and we start to see these lower signatures. These are actually, when you get the yellows, the greens, and especially the blue, that's when you know there might be debris lofted into the air, and that means that's a very big sign that there could be a tornado on the ground. So now that I see this area right here, we're going to have to watch this because this could be on the ground.
They are going confirmed.
Okay, they're going confirmed right now because of this signature on the ground. So if you are in Wartburg, let's zoom in a little bit closer to this, Jacob. I want to get a really tight view of some of the areas, and we know that if you'll just circle that area right there. Okay, so that's right over the Gobi community. So this tornado, if it's on the ground, is going to be really between Annandale and Gobi and down toward Lansing, and this is moving right across the northern side of Wartburg, and it's going toward Frozen Head State Park right now. So if you're in any of these areas, if you're familiar with these areas, if you have friends or family in these areas, I want you to make sure they're in their safe place right now. Lowest level, away from windows, and stay in the center of the home, or get as many walls between you and the outside of the house as you can. Again, this is the latest track. If you're in Wartburg, it is on top of you right now. If you're in near Frozen Head State Park, 850. Buffalo, 903. Coton, it looks like Catan around 920. And again, this is traveling to the south and east. Let's give a heads up. The folks in Oak Ridge, I want you to go ahead and be prepared to be in your safe place right now. If you're in Oak Ridge, again, possible tornado on the ground to your northwest. And again, Jacob extended this out even further so that you can kind of get an idea. These are some of the timelines for arrival. Oak Ridge at 9, Birchfield Heights at 9:09, and North Knoxville Medical Center at 9:21. If this holds together, it's going to move into northern parts of Knox County. So we want you folks to definitely stay in your safe place. Now, once we see this cell move out, we'll give you the all clear. But again, and when you see this red box with that white line around it, that indicates that this is a confirmed tornado, at least radar confirmed tornado. There is the debris signature. So this is just north of Wartburg. Jacob has pulled that up right now. We're looking just on the north side of Wartburg. This is a possible tornado on the ground pushing to the south and to the east. Jacob, if you would, put a track on that that strongest part of that debris signature right there, and we'll just go right across into Anderson County. So again, those are some of the areas that just to give you an idea that are going to be impacted by that area where we're seeing the strongest circulation right now. So again, if you're in any of those areas, I want you to be in your safe place. And again, Knoxville, this storm is heading our direction. And in fact, if it's, I'd say going, 40 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour. So 35 miles an hour, that's going to put it in Knoxville within the next 45 minutes or so. So again, we're going to watch this very closely. We're gathering reports right now. In fact, Ben and Jacob are both looking at reports from the National Weather Service and from folks here across the area. Again, there's the circulation. That is actually the velocity. That's a better view right there. That's probably the strongest signature I've seen tonight on any of these cells. This is on the north side of Wartburg right now. So you've got red going away from the radar, green going toward the radar. So we have this area of circulation. So that between that and the debris signature, that is confirmation, at least radar-wise, that we've probably got a tornado on the ground, and we're waiting for any reports. Again, still showing a very strong signature with the debris there as well. Again, it could be stronger, but there's at least something being lifted up into the atmosphere. Ben, what are you seeing? Are you seeing any reports coming in yet?
Yeah, no immediate reports. This area of Morgan County is typically tough to get reports from because there's not the best cell service in places. If you're like me and you go out here in the summer, a very remote area, which is the charm. But Kane Baptist Church, okay, this is right near your area, the Morgan County Fairgrounds, over towards Elizabeth Baptist Church. And then this is heading into Frozen Head, really the Windrock area as well, or the Brimstone Park area, so where you take your quads and your ATVs. It's a very remote area, and yet we're staying on because not only is this about 30 miles west-northwest of Knoxville, but this has a history of producing damage. It is now a radar-confirmed tornado. The difference between that and a regular confirmed tornado is that a trusted source or spotter hasn't been able to confirm it, but it's the middle of the night, which is why we rely on the radar confirmation, which is that whitish green color that Spencer was just talking about. I'm going to update the power outage map. Not seeing any more so far than 10. But this is moving through the Annandale community and on the north side now of Wartburg. Again, if you're just joining us, it's 8:30. So you might be wondering why the folks from the First Alert Weather Center are on. We have a radar-confirmed tornado, which goes for the warning, at least for 15 more minutes. Let me show you the inside part. Wartburg, you are not in the clear. You need to be staying in your safe place, especially on the north side of town. This is, roughly speaking, okay, rolling just north of Highway 62 or Oak Ridge Highway. The next town, if you will, is heading in towards Petros, which is where Brushy Mountain is. Also, the cabins for Windrock. You got the Rock Hollow Campground. There is Coalfield and Joyner a little bit after that. But Wartburg, you still need to be in your safe place. I think the most helpful thing we can do is to put a fresh track on this. The back of the storm is where we have that likely tornado. It's radar confirmed. This is heading to Frozen Head. So if you're visiting the area, if this warm weather got you out on the quad, maybe you're coming from out of state for these big ATV parks. If you're not so familiar, this is now firmly in Morgan County, okay? This is heading soon into Anderson County. There is a tiny bit here into Roane County, and then this is gradually heading towards Knoxville. Now, Knoxville, there's no immediate cause for panic. These typically weaken somewhat as they head to the east southeast. But I do want to put a track on this. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning that we'll get to in a second, but this is about 38 miles away from downtown, so a little over an hour out from getting some of these storms. Again, I don't want to forget about these because these are straight line wind producers. I was actually just tracking this guy coming out of McCreary County, but Log Mountain, you are definitely dealing with some high winds right now. I expect power outages, as we mentioned that as a possibility a little bit earlier on. Let me take a deep dive while I continue to talk. We do have a little bit of instability in the southern part of Campbell County that we'll have to watch. This is more for the weather folks. And then into Scott County, there's definitely a pocket there. So we'll have to watch this storm because it could turn pretty intense. Even if it's not tornadic, the damage could mirror tornado-like damage with the winds picking up here. Let's see. I'm looking up into Nashville and okay, I'm going to get back over to Spencer Denton while I take a look behind the scenes, but it does look like we had a debris signature as well coming in, possibly in Fentress County a few minutes ago, Spencer.
Yeah, Ben, and some of the latest info coming in is that Sunbright has damage from this storm. So we have confirmed damage now in Sunbright. This is just to the north and west of where the cell is right now. So this is the area reporting tornado damage. This is also an area that had a tornado last summer. So this area now possibly getting hit by another tornado less than a year later. So again, Sunbright community, possible damage there. This is just to the north and west. If we zoom back out, Jacob, that's the cell, and that would put it right on track. So here's the circulation. It's moving southeast. So yeah, this moved right over the Sunbright community. There's the rotation on radar now on the northeast side of Wartburg. And again, this is pushing into Anderson County right now. So if you are in Oak Ridge or points north, you need to be in your storm shelter or in your safe place or anywhere in the center of your home. Now, we don't want folks to be scared. We want you to be prepared. So again, this doesn't mean that this won't weaken, but because we want you to stay safe, we want to make sure that, and again, here's the good news. Right now, this doesn't look like as bad of a signature as we saw a minute ago, but there still could possibly be a tornado on the ground. So if there is, we want you folks to stay safe until we give you the all clear. And certainly in that little area, let's zoom in a little bit tighter into that area, Jacob, because this is on the north east side, and this is right over Frozen Head State Park. There is Mahan Village, and then you can see the Stevens community down here. And again, this is tracking down to the south and east toward Upper Windrock and Oliver Springs. So if you're in any of the areas that I just mentioned, just stay put, stay in your safe place until this cell passes, and make sure that if you are in the center of your home that if you've got any kind of helmet, that's always good to have just in case, just to be safe. But again, we just want you to be prepared because the potential is there is a tornado on the ground since we're now getting confirmed reports of damage in the Sunbright community. Now, again, we're putting a latest track on this. So for the folks that are out ahead of this cell, there are some of the communities that could be impacted down the road. They're not all of these are in the tornado warning yet. So Knox County, not in the tornado warning yet, but that could change if this cell remains as strong. So that would mean places like Clinton all the way to Knoxville at 9:30. So that's within the next hour as it's traveling southeast at about 35 miles per hour. And again, this is going to go just north of the Hardin Valley area. It looks like the circulation is going to go between Oak Ridge and Clinton if they decide to extend that tornado warning. Even if they don't, they may extend the severe thunderstorm warning, but certainly if they extend the tornado warning, it's going to include places like Clinton and Karnes. So just a first alert for you folks that if a tornado warning is issued, you need to be ready to go to your safe place. And again, Jacob put a track on the exact circulation. So here's the circulation right here within the storm. If there's hail, it's right here. This is where the hail core would be. The circulation is usually on the south side of the storm. You can see Frost Bottom 854, Clinchview 910, Broad Acres 923, Inskip at 935. So again, all of these areas are in the path, but the tornado warning only goes to Oak Ridge as of right now. It stops. They've stopped it at Oak Ridge, but they may extend this a little bit farther out. So we just want to keep you guys up to date. Now, if you're in Knox County, let's zoom back out real quick, Jacob. If you're in Knox County, I just want you to stay weather alert here. And again, I'll show you that if you don't know your county lines as well. So this is the Knox County line right here. This is Anderson County. Here's Oak Ridge. Here's Clinton. This is the tornado warning box right here. That's a possible tornado on the ground. This is staying north of Kingston. If you're in Kingston, you're going to miss the worst part of this cell. So I think the tornado threat remains north of you. If you're in La Follette, this remains south of you. But if you're in Clinton, Oak Ridge, or the northern half of Knox County, we may end up seeing more warnings extended into this area. So if you're in places, say, from Halls all the way down, maybe to the Hardin Valley area, Bearden, West Hills, any of these areas here in North and West Knoxville, Powell, you all need to stay on high alert because this cell is producing a possible tornado on the ground just to your west. And there is the rotation. It looks a little bit broader to me right now, just based on that particular view. But hopefully we will see this cell weaken as it moves to the south and east. Ben, are you seeing anything else out there with these, any reports coming in or any damage reports?
Yeah, no damage reports quite yet, Spencer. What we are seeing is the Morgan County Emergency Manager was sheltered at Sunbright Elementary. They had a game or something, and their, let's see, damage in Sunbright itself. I want to go through some of the towns where this is going to move into next. Petros, you need to be in your safe place now. Stevens and Joyner, right along Oak Ridge Highway. Frozen Head State Park, and especially, again, the Petros area. I want to mention some other folks. Fork Mountain, even if it doesn't come directly over you, you could have some of the debris wash into downstream, basically, as this moves out of Wartburg. Wartburg, you are in the clear as far as the immediate threat goes. You are here. The damaging wind and tornado threat is here, now firmly over Frozen Head State Park. Spencer mentioned this, but the rotation is broader. It's tough to see. It kind of blends in. There's a bunch of terrain right here. This is stretched out just a little bit. What's up, Jacob?
They're going to drop the confirmed tag. Still have rotation, but do not see debris signature. Going to keep the tornado warning for the time being, but again, drop the confirmed tag. This will be out momentarily.
Okay, so what Jacob is talking about, the confirmed tag, you see this area right here. That is 8:25. That's 14 minutes ago. That's debris, very likely, in the air on the north side of Wartburg. That has come down from Annandale and Sunbright. And you see how this whitish color disappears? So that's the debris dropping out of the air into Frozen Head State Park. And so radar confirmed earlier, now a chance of a tornado still on the ground. But that's what I was saying. It's stretching out a little bit. And it's turning more linear. You see right there? It's that rust color or maroon color. That is maybe trying to join up with the line to the north. Okay, so let's get you right to the wide view. Jacob Durham telling me that they're extending this tornado warning into Knox County. You got that first alert from Spencer about Carnes and Hardin Valley a minute ago being ready to go. Clinton and Oak Ridge, you are now in the tornado warning, or Oak Ridge, you're still in it. And then out towards Carnes, Hardin Valley, Nicholas Ball Park, again, you are closing in. Let's show you just how far on the radar this is. This is less than 20 miles, about 20 miles from the Knox County line. So come back real fast here because I want to update folks here, Ben. This is now going till 9:15. Anderson, Knox, Morgan, and just a tiny, tiny sliver of Roane County in that immediate threat. It looks like we may have another little foot trying to drop on the back of this storm. I want to look at that too on the south side of Wartburg. This may be more of a straight line wind threat and not as problematic, but it is definitely growing. And sometimes you'll have a shift in the rotation to points south. But now if you're just joining us, maybe your phone just went off in Knox County, and hopefully we don't have the alarms go off loud on our phone. You are now part of the county, at least, under that tornado warning. This was a radar-confirmed tornado with a history of producing damage in the Putnam County area along with Morgan County. Still not seeing a ton of power outages. Okay, so great information from one of our radio partners that the Lady Vols game just ended, and you're going to have this sudden rush of people out near campus. So hopefully they're getting the first alert on their phones that maybe you want to hang out around Food City Center just a little bit longer. Okay, and we're getting reports that the Lady Vols beat UConn as well for a big W there. But this is right now. Ben, can we come back to me real quick? I want to show kind of people the lay of the land. Appreciate it. Our director, Ben, and producer, Doug, working hard in the back. This is Morgan County. This is Anderson County, and it's right at this line. This triangle is the southern tip of Scott County. Still a bunch of rotation. This is right over Frozen Head State Park and into the quad trails of Windrock just to the south of the Brimstone Park. Hardin Valley, you are now under this, so let me take you on a wide view and kind of show you what has changed over the last little bit. We heard reports that the Walmart in Harlan was making people shelter in place. This is still a severe thunderstorm warning. There's a ton of energy right here at the Campbell, Western Claver line, and the northern parts of Union County too. So right here, we're seeing that additional energy, and so we could see some damaging winds there. But if you're just getting that first alert, as I just got on my cell phone as well, tornado warning for Harlan County, it looks like, right? Yeah, so new tornado warning up there too. I do want to focus before we dive back in, because this is a brand new tornado warning for our viewers in Harlan. You see how it kind of looks like a pipe bend right here? That is the area that we're watching. So let's look inside the storm near the Path Fork community, and it's definitely tightened up quite a bit. This area is notoriously hard to issue tornado warnings for because of the kind of accordion effect of the ridges and valleys here. It can play havoc with the radar, but I do want to see if we have any damage. Maybe a little bit. It's hard to tell, but it does look like maybe there's a potential bit of damage in the Harlan County area. So Path Fork over to Rose Hill, I want you to be in your safe places too. Now back to the heart of our area. If you were watching earlier, we said between 8 and 10, this would be moving into Knox County. And this matches the weather maps to a T. We've got Oak Ridge and Clinton. Now Oak Ridge, the biggest town so far under that tornado warning. Let me show you where this is in relation to Oak Ridge. This is really between Oak Ridge and Clinton, going to kind of slide between the two there. So let me head over to the map and look at some of the places. The Windrock Cabins, Marlow especially, you need to be in your safe place. The Children's Museum of Oak Ridge over towards Illinois Avenue, the AMSE, the American Museum of Science and Energy, all those places heading towards Melton Hill Lake. And right in the community of Elza, that's where a lot of this is rolling in. So good news here, I think. We'll have to see what Spencer thinks, but it does seem like some of the rotation is really stretching out. We're not seeing this navy blue, but we are seeing some more rotation head generally towards the Clinton area. Let's head back to Spencer. You've been looking at behind the scenes. What are you seeing about this rotation? Think it's good signs?
Yeah, I do think we're seeing a little bit of a weakening of the rotation, Ben, but just in case, because we had the tornado warning in southeast Kentucky issued, and then we still have the one coming now into Knox County. If you're in your safe place, or if you're going there and you're in any of these tornado warned areas, I want you to take your phone and download the WVLT First Alert Weather app. If you already have it, turn it on, and you can actually see these warnings as they come out, and you can actually tell exactly where they're going in regards to your location. So this is a great tool to have right now. I've got it turned on, and I can see the blue dot that is showing the storm coming directly toward me. So be sure and check that out, and you can actually get alerts for your location as you're sitting in your safe place. So if you can't be near your television, or you just can't hear it well enough, you can always use the phone to get those latest alerts right for your location as you sit there and wait for this storm to pass. But again, this is possibly the hail core right here. Now, can you turn on the hail parameter there, Jacob? And let's see what we're seeing as far as any large hail with this. I'm not seeing a whole lot right now, so that's good. It's mainly a heavy rain event, it looks like, but we are seeing the potential for that rotation near Oak Ridge. And again, this is heading into the northwest side of Knox County. So this is just a very small sliver of Knox County, but it does include the Hardin Valley area. And again, this is just to the west of Bearden. I think the rotation, though, is going to go like this. So it's going to stay just north of Hardin Valley. And right now, the strongest part of the storm itself is going to go over Clinton and eventually over Fountain City in the north side of Knoxville. This looks a little bit broader to me now. So what I'm seeing is, now there might be a little something there, but this is overall, this is just a big, broad level of rotation and not as tight as it was earlier. That is good news. Let's look at the debris signature on that real quick and see what the latest scan is showing. And yeah, it doesn't look as, it's not all lining up the way it was earlier. Now, so what Jacob's going to do is go to the north. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is the Powell Valley area. So now we're moving north of that tornado warned area. It looks like we've got some large hail here near Log Mountain right now. So possible large hail up to almost an inch. Almost an inch size hail. So this is large hail up toward Log Mountain in the Powell Valley area. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning for this area right now, and maybe some broad rotation with that as well. It looks like the overall shear is pretty low on that one. So we'll keep an eye on that. But again, hail the main threat. And I think that's what these storms are going to transition into, is more hail producers and less of a tornado threat. Let's go back up for our friends up here in the Rose Hill area. Again, we have tornado warnings that continue from Rose Hill to Jonesville. This is just to the south and east of Path Fork. This is the rotation there. And again, there is signs that this cell is rotating. It doesn't look as strong as maybe it once did. Let's go ahead and look at the debris on that one. This is coming from the Morristown NWS radar. And you can see, yeah, there's still some signs that there might be a little something there, but not a big drop in that signature that you would typically see if there was something on the ground. So that's something we'll continue to watch. Again, these are radar indicated tornado warnings right now, not confirmed tornadoes. This one is now radar indicated and not confirmed. That's good, because that means that they're not seeing the signs on radar that they were earlier as it moved just to the north and west of here. So again, we're seeing that possible rotation near Oak Ridge, strongest part of the cell moving over Clinton right now. Jacob?
And I know Ben was talking about it just a few moments ago, kind of that tail end little hook. You can see maybe a little bit of rotation trying to form just south of Wartburg. I'll take off the velocity and show you there.
Yeah.
Maybe on that southern end. So it's getting a little messy, but I agree with you there, Spencer. It does look a lot better in terms of.
And this is typically, when you start to see the cell getting more elongated like this, that's signs that it's trying to turn into more of a damaging wind threat and less of a tornado threat. So like Jacob said, it isn't looking as classic on radar. It's looking a little messier, and we want it to look messy because that means it's not showing those signs of a classic hook that you see with typical tornadic cells. But there's definitely some rotation within this cell, and that's why they extended that tornado warning into portions of northwest Knox County. And again, this only includes a small sliver of Knox County, and I think it's going to be hopefully more of a damaging wind threat and less of a tornado threat as it continues to push toward Knoxville. But if you've got your app open, you can get the latest updates, because if they issue something, the hope is that they issue a severe thunderstorm warning for the rest of Knox County as this storm pushes to the south and to the east. And again, we're just going to go ahead and give you, for this whole entire storm, some of the areas that will be impacted either by wind or maybe some small hail or lightning. Halls 913 here in the city of Knoxville, downtown 922, South Doyle 935, Seymour 9:45. So again, this is staying south of Maynardville, north of Kingston. Let's zoom back out because I know a lot of folks are watching us from around the area and they trying to get a handle on where they're at. Sometimes it's easier to see the bigger view. So we've got a tornado warning still between Harlan and Sneedville. We have a tornado warning that continues for portions of Anderson County. I think Wartburg, you're in the clear now. It's pushed to your east. And this continues just to the north of London. This is north of Kingston as well and just west of Knoxville. So again, this is the area that we're watching with still a good bit of lightning. How many lightning strikes do we have on this, Jacob? It looks like probably at least 20 or 30, I would think, with this cell, 28. Okay, so we're right at that number there. And that's pretty much what they've been individually all evening long. So still a good bit of lightning. You want to stay inside regardless of the potential for high wind, tornadoes, or lightning. You want to stay indoors in the lowest level until the warning expires and this storm does pass. But again, we're monitoring for damage reports back to the west. And those were coming out of just those northwest areas, and we'll continue to get the latest information on that. But right now, this is some of the storm is going to head toward the Halls area as well, 640, I-40. So all of these areas are going to be impacted. For the folks that are coming out of the game tonight, if you're driving west on I-40 or driving north on I-75, you're going to run right into this storm. So if you're watching us on our live stream, I want you to probably sit tight because it's typically not good to be in a car when there is a tornado warning. So I would really like for you to pull over and just stay where you're at until they at least change this to a severe thunderstorm warning, because you do not want to be in your car during a tornado warning. That's very big advice that we always tell folks when it comes to being in a vehicle. But we still have the tornado warning as of right now, so we're continuing to watch this. Ben, what are you seeing?
So we're seeing quite a bit of damage in Corbin, especially downtown. I just posted some of the video from viewers on my Facebook page, and we got Spencer come get you some water too. He's been working hard, first alerting you to that since this has moved through Corbin. Here's the wide view. We mentioned 8 to 10 o'clock as the time that this would move through the East Tennessee area, and there it is right on cue. So I'm going to try to load up our view of the Knoxville camera in a second because we're starting to see a ton of lightning. But if you're in Knoxville, still that tornado warning on the west side of town. Clinton, Oak Ridge, not as intense with the rotation as it was before, but it is still a problematic storm. Let me hit this button we call CC. And let me go back a couple of minutes. The good news is we're not seeing any immediate debris lofted into the air, but potentially on the bottom of this, near Oak Ridge, there's a little bit more rotation. I think where we're going to see some damaging wind here shortly is up into Claiborne County, maybe even into Union County if this can link up. You're not under the gun right now, but this is turning into an area that could have quite a bit of wind in it. Straight line winds, but often that can mimic tornado type damage. So I'd expect power outages near Log Mountain, Duff, Stinking Creek, and then Powell Valley. That's right along Highway 63 as you come into the east side of La Follette there by that area. Our Sam Luther, our night reporter, talked to the Morgan County emergency manager, who was very busy. He was in the crowd, as we reported a few minutes ago, at one of the schools in Sunbright as they had an event of some kind. And so the good news there is that people were together, right? And we talked to the emergency manager after, who did not report any immediate problems at Sunbright School. But the reason we're still on is because this storm has a history of producing damage in Putnam County, in Annandale, or that's at least where the debris signature was, so likely to have damage there, and then in parts of Sunbright too. We still have that tornado warning for another 19 minutes and change. So let's put a track on this, or a look inside the storm real fast. So kind of two different areas that we're watching. I'm going to slide the radar just to the left a little bit. As I do that, I'm going to kind of give you the lay of the land. It's been a quiet night so far in Knoxville, but we're starting to hear our first bit of thunder as this part of the storm moves to the east towards the north side. So this is heading towards Powell, a bright view. Okay, I'm going to load up, if we can, our Knoxville camera. I see Jacob steering that, so I'm guessing that we are seeing.
There's quite a bit of lightning, and you can also see it at times. The camera will begin to shake, indicating that the strong wind's kind of surging out ahead of it, but almost kind of constant lightning right now as that storm moves into western Knox County.
Yeah, so I'm going to pull up our scene here, working behind the scenes, and we'll show you that view of Knoxville. So we'll see that here in what's up?
This is from the National Weather Service. This is from a media partner there. From a family friend in Morgan County, homes are damaged in Twin Bridge Road area of Deer Lodge, damage/trees down around the Morgan County Fairgrounds on US 27. So.
Yep. And we mentioned that, appreciate it, Jacob Durham. The Morgan County Fairgrounds is right where we were mentioning over to Highway 27. That's where we saw the first debris signature. This is that live view from Knoxville right now. Let me try this one more time. Okay, so let me take you back to the live view. As Jacob mentioned, nearly continuous lightning flashing. We're looking to the west. You can see the TVA and UT building, and then the camera is beginning to shake. I think we're actually looking a little bit more north because that V in the middle of your screen is Sharps Ridge, okay? Ben, can we come back to me real fast because I want to talk, appreciate it, sir. I want to talk about what to do for the folks in Knox County and Clinton, too. Right? We don't get a lot of tornado warnings, thankfully. But what you want to do if you're under that is go to the green. In this case, interior hallways. Closets are great because there's typically not a lot of glass and there's more walls between you and the outside. Staircases, and then the best place is an interior basement. If you're like me, the basement is exterior. I want you to stay in the home. And by the way, for the Vols fans out there, the Lady Vols, that big win over the Yukon Huskies, you want to get in touch with your friends out there because the game just ended and we want people to stay nearby and not drive out west where you see this continuous lightning. So
There's